Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tony, and if you follow me you know that we're right at the end of the Baja build, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every moment, as I've said before many times. And when we left off last time, we painstakingly cut out all the body shell parts, and I went ahead and I painted the two side panels and the nose cone in the beautiful HPI orange. So today we're going to clean this up, we'll get it painted, and once it's all dry we can then install it onto the Baja, and then we're going to go ahead and do all the finishing touches. Put the spoiler, going to put some the LED lights on and put some of the decals on, and then if weather permitting, it's actually quite a dry day here today in the UK, cold but dry, perfect painting conditions, apart from the temperature, but that's not going to be a problem. But it's dry, and if I get everything done today, I'm going to take it for its first dry run, but I'm going to be very careful. You've got to be really careful with these engines. You've got to run them in very slowly, but if I get enough time today and the weather holds out, you'll be seeing this driving around. So next thing I'm going to do is get this all cleaned up, get it onto my painting bench, and we'll give it a coat of paint, and I'll do that in real time. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hope you're going to enjoy this, and we'll reset the camera and get cracking. Right, so I'm all set up. Not very windy day, which is perfect conditions for painting. So got my body shell. I'm just going to use these alcoholic wipes. They're not heavily doused in alcohol, but they're really good cleaning wipes. It's just to get all the residue off the inside where we've been handling it, so we get a good adhesion for the paint. And when you've done all of that, I mean, I know they recommend you wash these with soap and water, but you know, with these wipes they're very, very good. So that's that, and then we just get a bit of kitchen roll and then just dry off any surplus off of that. And I've been thinking about my camo scheme on this, and I've decided the colours I'm going to do now. And if you are interested in when I do that, let me know, as I said, in the comments, and then I'll very happily film that. So I'm not going to wear a mask today because I don't believe, because we're outside, I don't think it's going to be an issue. What I will be putting my gloves on. Obviously you don't need primer with these because you want the colour to show through, but you will probably need about 3 coats. Right, so let's get going. As before, you just want to give it a nice dusting to start with. Don't be in a rush, just build up the coats. Just give that nozzle a wipe. Just build up the coats slowly and gradually. You can now start to see or distinguish the colour from the clear plastic underneath. So we'll wait a few minutes, wait for that to dry, and we'll give it another coat. Right, it's ready for another coat. Again, as I said, just the temptation is to just throw a lot of paint on it, but then what you don't want is it running, and you want a nice sort of gradual build up of the colour. As I said, one small tin like this. It's a lovely day here in Essex, in England, and everybody's out. Motorbikes, planes in the skies, helicopters, you name it. Anyway, a small tin like this will actually give you enough to do probably 2 bodies. It's certainly enough to do a whole car, so don't go mad buying lots of this paint. You only need a small tin. It goes a long way. So I'm going to give that just another little run over, just to get into the nooks and crannies, and we'll let that dry and come back and give it its another coat. Okay, next coat. Give that nozzle a wipe. Always try and keep the nozzle clean. It just stops drops of paint from spitting out. And we have a hijacker, little fly. Now we've got to start losing the transparency through the body. So this is where we really build up the coats of paint. I love this orange. Just love it. It's all, make sure that you get in all those nooks and crannies, as I call them, all the little areas. I can see now that, and obviously you've got the protective film on the other side, so if you inadvertently get paint on that, it's not a problem because that's protecting it. So, you know, obviously be careful as much as you can, and just enjoy it. It's actually quite a therapeutic thing to do. And what I love is they give us 2 body shells to play with. You know, so one I'm doing, as I said, the HPI, the homage to HPI, the orange, and then the next one will be my own personal scheme. And I've, as I said, I've decided which colour scheme to do with that, like an urban camo type scheme. As a bit of a homage to my own channel. So we'll let that go off, and then I think one final coat and we'll be there. Right, let's give it another coat. I'm putting it on a little bit thicker this time. I think one more coat and I think we're done. Right, so we're going to do the final coat now. With this I'm just going to pick the body shell up and just hold it up to the light and just see if there's anywhere in particular that needs a bit more paint. I think it's pretty good coverage, so I don't think we're going to need a lot here. So just give it its one final dusting. And the thing is, with the way these body shells are painted, when you take the protective cover off on the outside, you get that beautiful glossy finish. So don't get don't get overwhelmed by painting these. You don't have to be a master painter. You just have to avoid, just make sure you get a good coverage and avoid drips and running and things like that. So just building the coats up prevents that. So I think I'm happy with that now. Just maybe a little bit more on the front here. So I'm going to let that dry. While we wait for it to dry, we can carry on building the other parts, and by the time we've done that, this should be ready to unveil, if you like, take the protective covering off and hopefully unveil a beautiful glossy finish. So I'm going to wait for that to dry and we'll get back onto the bench and carry on building. Right, so we're back inside the warmth of the workshop, and we just now need to complete the assembly of this sort of underguard area here. This is going to be the right and this is going to be the left as I'm looking at it. We have 2 panels here which need to be trimmed off the parts tree. And they're marked up with an R and an L for right and left, which is very handy, thanks HPI. And And to stop me getting confused, I've just put I've just put an R on here so I know that I'm putting it in the right part. So that is the right orientation. That simply just pops in like that, and then on the back there's a pin, and it's the smaller of the retaining pins that you want for this. So just pop that through the hole. And that's that. We'll do the same on this side. Another one of the smaller pins. I can't believe we're almost there with this. Seems a long time ago, but what's amazing is you get a box of parts and it converts into something incredible. So that's all we need to do with that, and then we have our right and left-handed side panels. I'm just making sure I've got the right ones. Pretty sure that is accurate. That's correct. So that, just line that up with the holes just to make sure it looks right. Do the same this side. I'm just checking the instructions to make sure that that looks about right, and it does, pretty sure. Yep. And then some more parts of the part tree, which are these little retainers here. Just need to clip these off. Obviously these are the body panels that we worked with last week, so let's just turn this that way round. Pop this through there. Get one of the retaining pins. Hopefully just slides through it, no problem, and it does. Perfect. Same with this. Just love the colour of that orange. Beautiful. There's that hole. There we go. And that's that. Do the same again with this. And the shape fits perfectly with the shape, so you know you got it right. Hopefully I got it right. Just pop that one in there, hold that in place, spin it round, pin hole. Where are you? Right there. Where's the hole? Oh, there it is. My hands are cold where I've been outside painting. There we go. Put the final one in. And I'm tempted now to do the apply the decals to this while I've got it away from the main chassis. There's the hole, there it is. So that's that. And that obviously goes underneath the Baja. So we'll have a look at that in a moment, but I'm going to go and get the decals and work out what ones are supposed to be applied to this part. Okay, so I found the decals, put the ones on that I believe are the right ones for this part of the bodywork. You get 2 sheets of decals. I'll go through those in a moment, but I want to try and get this onto the Baja now. And the only way I can think of installing this correctly, I think, is to turn it upside down ever so gently, spin it around. So bear with me while I try and do that. Just gently. Oh, wow. There you go, just like that. Now this then goes roughly in that position there. There's some connectors there, I don't know if you can see, but they basically, these here slide into these 3 slots here. So let's hope that is indeed the case. Look at that. Wow, it does. And that should pop through there. Just pop that onto that. We've got to put a clip on that. And that. I believe that's all we need to do. So let's spin that back round. Oh. There we go. Already looking sexy. Right, so we have a couple of these leftover clips that will probably go in there. I'm tempted to glue them in, you know. What stops them from falling out? I don't know. Tempted to. Because obviously that's going to retain the main body. So I think that's right. I'm going to go and look at the bodywork now, the main body, and see if that's cured enough for us to put it on. Right, so you mustn't forget there's a clip on the back here where we push this bottom plate through. That just needs to be secured with one of the smaller clips. And now we can go ahead and put the nose cone and the main bodywork on. But before I do that, I'm going to put the decals on the body parts. But ahead of doing that, it's time to look at the aerial. I don't want this to be so tall. I don't think it needs to be that tall. That's the extent of what you've got. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. That's the extent of the aerial lead that we've got left. And it comes to about here. That area is far too long. So I'm just going to clip that. Probably just going to take about 4 or 5 inch, probably 4 inches off of that. So I'm just going to clip that with this tool. And then just slide that back over and push that in. I think that's about right. I think it was just too tall. Right, so decals. So you get 2 sheets of decals with the kit. Can't find anywhere instructing you which decals go on what part, but there is some graphics widely available on the internet, and also there's plenty of images of it to give you an idea of which decal goes where. So on the nose cone we've got one of these sort of arrows, these HPI decals here, plus it looks like we've got one of these sort of flashes that go onto it. So I'm just going to work out which one goes where, and then we can get those stuck on. So I think I've worked it out. And again, you know, there's no, these simply just peel off like that. And I think, you know, you have to be a little bit creative here. So I'm going to pop that kind of on that and just get it to work with the profile. And then I'm going to trim any excess off, just working the air bubbles out. Try and stretch that. gonna just use my my scalpel knife to trim off any excess I don't want. So I'm being very quiet while I concentrate. Talk amongst yourselves. Just working that round, getting any air bubbles out of it. Just trim that front. Tear that off. Again, as I said, there's no real hard and fast right way and a wrong way to do this. Just be obviously careful, goes without saying, when you use one of these scalpels. Just getting that working all the little air bubbles out of it. And then just using this using the profile of the body shell itself just to run the scalpel blade along, and then just this last piece here. That's it. Like that, just a bit more work just to get those air bubbles out of that. A couple of creases there I'll sort out. But that's that on, looking mean. And I think you get one of these. I'll use the back of the scalpel blade to lift that off. There's always one, isn't there? There you go. And that just goes, so I'm going to turn it around in my favour. Just goes on there like that. So that's that. So now we've done that, we'll put the rest of it on and then we can do the rest of the decals, I think, while the, yeah, I think we'll be all right to do that once it's on. I don't think we need to do any cutting as such. So that's that. So that's going to go on the front, manipulate that in there somehow, and then we'll go on and we'll get the body. Now I'll just go and check to make sure the body's all clean and not clean, sorry, dry, and then we can get that installed as well. So the body shell's dry. Now we can start on peeling the protective film coat to reveal this beautiful glossy finish. Look at that, stunning. There's always a bit left over. That's that side. you can see just the sense of satisfaction out of when you get this and eventually just get it all on peeled. I mean, look at that. Hopefully you can pick the gloss shine up and that beautiful finish and that orange. Right, so now I think it's time that we put it on, and we can then add decals to it afterwards, I think. So we have the nose cone goes in first. So that just, and there's a clip already there. Just see if that goes. That is awkward, of course. Let's see if that, there we go. So that's that. Sits in there like that. And then the body, remember we did test fit the body previously. Just pop that aerial through. Wow. Okay, so I need to get these clips on the back. That'll go on the front like that. But you can see already that goes on there. We've obviously got a clip to put on at the back here. But look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh my God, it's stunning. So now I just need to get a clip in behind there. See if I can get that in now. What did I do with those? Found them. This could be a bit awkward. Let's put that in first. I'm tempted to, part of me thinks it should be glued, but I don't know. No, that's all right. And then you just take one of the smaller pins. Sorry, I'm probably doing this, you can't see what I'm doing. It's a bit awkward, so I'm having to do it in my favour. But I'll spin this around and show you. We'll get that pin on. Come on. There you go. So I don't know if you can see that. That's there. Got to do the same on the other side. It's looking sexy now. That should be down there a bit. Oh yeah, because I haven't. Let's just concentrate and get these ones in first. So, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. So, I'll pop this off there for a minute. Get that one in behind that. Get that on there. Just get the pin, one of the smaller pins. Looks beautiful in the camera, doesn't it? That orange. And there. That's that. I'm going to have to secure this with a bigger pin. But let's do this one first. So that goes in there. Now we've got one of the bigger pins. These bigger, larger ones. Just cool. That's maybe I don't need to use that. That is tough. Get on there. Oh, this is tough, and it's actually hurting my finger. So I'll use that to push it, maybe. Yeah, just push that into place. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So now just we put the other body clips on here. Don't think that's going to get in the way with doing the decals. No. Oops. Spin this round. that's it. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Love it. Absolutely love it. Right, let's have a look at some decals. So we've got a flash to come down here, the Baja, and there's some decals to go along the front here. So yeah, let me just work all that out and then I'll be back. Right, you notice I've taken the body off. Right, so schoolboy error. I've got these LED lights, haven't I? And I've got to plug them into the receiver, and I can't get to the receiver while the body's on, and so I've had to disconnect the frame, but it's all clipped, so it's no big issue. So apologies. So you're all probably, the advanced builders out there, probably screaming at the camera going, oh, about the lights. Anyway, I've picked it up. So now I will now seek to install the lights. So the only you can only go in one place. So we just double check that I've got the right cable, so it can only go in one position. I'm just going to lift that up out of the way while I try. I'm going to get some light on that. Get that in and into the last channel on the receiver. Oh, this is awkward. Awkward. It will go in. There we go. Just push that into place. That's fine. I just want to double check that they're actually working. So let's just turn them on. There they go. If you can see that. Yeah, they're on. Lovely. Turn those off. Turn them off, he says. There we go. Right, now we can put all this back together as it should be. So that clip goes back in there. No harm done. Just awkward with the wheels on now. Tell you what, I don't want to be getting to this very often. There you go. That's in. So that's in. Oh, that should have done. Now you're probably screaming at the camera again, because really what I've got to do is work out how I get this cable. I'm going to have to split it through there. Problem solved. So I've got that looped in through there now. I'm going to pop these in there for now. So I'm going to put the body shell back on. So I'll get the body shell back on and then we can carry on. Right, so that's the body shell back on, and I've done all the decals. And I mean, I didn't show you that, but this is a point where you can actually have a bit of fun. Don't get too hung up on making it exactly as it's shown on the box. You can put your own stamp on it. And I, you know, yeah, I didn't show it. I will show you putting the decals on the spoiler when we put it on. But yeah, had a bit of fun doing that actually. Just personalises it a little bit, but I think it looks amazing. I absolutely love it. I love this orange. Just beautiful. Right, so let's go on and do the lights. So very simply, hopefully, these will be, you want them to be pointing up, so you want them to be raised up. If you put them the other side, they'll be pointing slightly down. So I want them slightly up, and they just simply push in and lock into place like so. And we'll do the other side. We'll tidy the cables up shortly. And there's a couple of pins that you get with the lighting kit, which just, hopefully, if we can get to it, just lock those in and secures those into place. Make life a little bit easy. He says. Not sure why that's not going in there. That's it, it's in. Now, I just want to dress these cables. I think I can probably just tuck those underneath the bodywork actually. Why not? Just tuck them in there, away from the servo. We don't want that getting caught in the servo. Just tucking those underneath. Like so. Making sure they're not getting caught up with that servo, that cable there. I might put a little black cable tie on that later. So let's just turn them on, make sure they're still working. And they are. Look at that. Look at that for night driving. I just think it's cool. I'm not sure how much is going to drain the battery. I haven't charged this battery actually since I've had it, but I haven't really used it. So what I'll do, once it's had his little test run later on today, I'll put it on charge so that we can deal with that. So now we're on to the spoiler. So we're now going to go ahead and get all the parts we need to install the spoiler. Sorry, this part here. I'll do that and I'll reposition the camera. Right, so with the spoiler we just need to trim this off its parts tree. This is the very last thing you're going to be working on, and we're going to want a couple of these. I'll trim these off. These obviously give you 2 spares. Put that in my little box of spares, bits and bobs. Say goodbye to that parts tree. That's the end of that, the very last one. But before we do that, I'm going to do the final decals. So we have 2 decals that go on the side of the spoiler and then one that goes across the top. So let's do that first. We'll do the one that goes across the top. Just carefully remove that off its, and then just eyeing this in, trying to get it sort of center and reasonably straight. So look at that. Is that? Yeah, I'm happy with that. And just rub that on, getting all the air bubbles out. My scalpel, I'm going to cut the 2 holes out so we can get the securing pins. Just pop that out like so. That one's up there. That's out. Put that scalpel back away. Safety first, Tony, safety first. Just keep rubbing that so that all the air bubbles are out. And now we've got to put the first of the decals on the side. Make sure I've got the right one. Nope. That's the right one there. Just sort of eyeing this in. There you go. Just I'm not sure you know the relevance of this number. I'd be interested in the comments if you want to have a go at understanding what that means. Just want to get the air out of that. Can't believe we're almost ready to give it its first test run. Got a little bit more setting up to do on the handset, just got to reverse the throttle and the brake. But from what I can see, it's reasonably straightforward to do from the handset. So that's that side. And the weather's been kind to us. It is cold, but it's still dry. So we're still on to do its first test drive. I'll put a bit of fuel in it. I won't put too much in it, and I'm actually going to just let it stand idling for a little bit, so maybe sort of 10-15 minutes, because I really want to be careful about running this engine in. You can't start ragging it around. That's it. That's gone really nicely, that one. So that is it. The final part of the jigsaw. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll spin this round so we can actually get it. I don't know if you can see. Can we do it here? Yeah, we probably can. So then that simply positions, he says, over the top of that pin. Obviously you've got holes in this pin here. And that, just got to make sure I can actually see. I can get the pin in so it's sideways on. There's a little slot here which you may or may not be able to see, and that is where we have to try and get the pin in. So let's see how we get on with that. Just double checking that these are the right pins. Yes, they are. And this is going to be tricky. Just about to see it. There we go, that's on. Do the same the other side. Shame, because it takes pretty much where I've put the Baja sign. Gets covered up by these plugs, but it doesn't matter. Probably could have done with putting it a bit higher up, actually. Now, why is that not? There we go. All right. Just get underneath that. Just about see the hole. Didn't move that. That's better. Sorry guys, just concentrating. Wow, that's it. Spoiler on. So let's just pan the camera out and have a look at this monster. And here it is, done. Can't believe it. I'm so pleased. I have absolutely loved building this model and loved every step and watching it grow and develop and just become what it is now. And I think it's a thing of beauty. I really do. I've grown really attached to this. I didn't realise how much fun it can be to build one of these kits. I'm so used to working with the amazing kits from Armatech and these beautifully made components and everything else. When you do something like this, it's so different, but equally, and probably in its own right, you know, probably more rewarding, because mechanically speaking, with the engine and the gearbox and the clutch and everything else, you're challenged to build things from scratch or assemble from scratch. But in fairness, HPI have made your life really easy, but the instructions are so clear. So the only thing that remains to be done now is get this bad boy outside and get it started for the first time with its wheels on, and then see how we get on. So let's do that. Right, let's see how we get on. Just prime this engine, get some fuel. I've already put some fuel in it. get the fuel in, turn my handset on, turn the power on. Hey, lights are on. Let's see. Wow. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to run that, let it tick over for about 10 minutes. Raring to go, but we won't do it yet. So tempting, but we won't do it. Whey! So I'm going to let this run for 10 minutes just to get the engine nice and warm, and then we'll take it for its first little drive around, but we won't rag it. Right, so that's a good 10, possibly 12 minutes of running, just doing nothing. I just turned it off just to move it. Handset is on, power's on. Make it fuel, yeah, fuel's in. Let's just start it. Now, what we're going to do now is do this for about another 10 minutes or so. I'm going to do this for about 10 or 15 minutes just to, because the engine still needs to be running and warmed up, of course. I won't film the whole of that. I'll carry on doing that, and I'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes. Right, let's, I've used up a quarter of a tank of fuel. That's run out, put another quarter of a tank in. I haven't cut the grass, but I'm going to take it out for a wow. Just wants to go. I mean, that's not even full blast. Love that through the leaves. It still needs to be run in. let's just get it started. Yep. Have to do some cleaning. That's the whole point though, right? Wow. Okay, really pleased with that. Going to give it a bit of a clean now. It's a mess, but that's the whole point of it. Absolutely love it. It's got a bit more running in to do before we really let it loose. But I'm really impressed and love it, love it, love it completely. So let me clean this up and I'll be back to camera. Wow, that went really, really well. I mean, it came out of my garden, look a mess. It was leaves and grass and mud all over it, but nothing that a leaf blower, a brush and a bit of a wipe over doesn't sort out. But oh my God, that was fast, and it was only on half speed. I've got my my handset just set to sort of half speed. So the maximum it got up to was 15-20 miles an hour. It's not, but it is more than capable of doing 50+ miles an hour. So you know, it just reminds me that you do need a bit of space to run one of these around. So if you are building one of these, please consider that. And if you look it up or Google it near where you live, I'm sure there'll be some. There's lots of clubs that you can join to allow you to run these around the track and sort of over obstacles and everything else. So that's worthwhile doing. Thoroughly enjoyed this, absolutely enjoyed every part of it. Still got a little bit of work to do. I'm just going to get Ben to come over and do some tuning with me on the engine to sort of, yeah, because out of the box you'd expect it to have a little bit of work to be done. I mean tuning. And of course I'm going to do another body shell scheme, and it's going to be a camouflage scheme, which is just a sort of homage to my own channel. And if you'd like me to film and release that, please let me know in the comments and I'll be very happy to do so. And then what I've done here is I've just got a sort of small little toolbox, if you like, perfect with all the sort of storage areas and compartments, because you're going to have a few bits left over. You're going to have the sort of spare plastic parts that HPI allow you to have, just in case you do need to carry out some repairs. So you get a few bits left over, and of course you've got your shock oils and a few other bits and pieces, and of course the tools that HPI provide with the kit. So make sure you put them all away in a case like this, and I'll put the instructions in here, so it's all in this box. So if I ever need to get to it, it's here. So I have loved building this, loved it, every single moment of it, and I'm a bit sad. I'm just wiping up a little bit of mud there. I'm a bit sad it's come to the end, because the best part of this hobby is building these things, and then of course you get to see it come to life and it blows your mind. So I have got a ton of thank yous. So first of all, thank you to HPI Racing for just building an amazing kit, and I know HPI Racing are following me on my channel, and I'm talking to their development team about potentially building another model, one of their new release models, fingers crossed, if I've done a good job on this, hopefully. And of course wheel spin models up there in Cannock, and my two sons Ben and Tom from NXT Collectables, because without them and without wheel spin models this would not be possible. I feel really privileged to be in a position to build an exceptional kit like this, and I hope you've enjoyed the whole journey with me. I obviously now have come to the end of this, with the exception of the few things I said earlier. And I'm going to be back on my Armored Tech Series 1 Land Rover to finish that off. I've got a bit more work to do on the detailing of that to make that look as I want it to look. So that'll be my next video. And of course, while I'm thanking people, I want to thank you for your amazing support, your continued support, all your wonderful comments and all your thumbs up. It just means the world to me. And it still blows me away, the support I'm getting from my channel. I'm just a bloke in a workshop building toys, I call them toys, but they're, you know, big boys toys if you like, and talking to people on the camera as if you're my mates. So a massive thank you to all of you. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please provide me a comment. If you're new to my channel, although we've come to the end of this amazing kit, You'll see this again, I can assure you. You will definitely see this in action again. Plus, I've got to finish off my Series 1, and I will hopefully, once I get the Series 1 finished, be in a position to let you know what my next project is. So again, thank you, all of you. Thanks for your continued support. I'm Tony, love building these kits, and I look forward to seeing you in my next session.